A former top economic aide to Vladimir Putin says he thinks that the key to ending the war in Ukraine is a full embargo on Russian oil, telling the BBC, quote, if Western countries would try to implement a real embargo on oil and gas exports from Russia, I would bet that probably within a month or two, Russian military operations in Ukraine probably will be stopped. And joining me now is Andrei Illarionov. He is a former chief economic advisor to Vladimir Putin. Sir, thank you so much for joining us. Tell us why you think that this would work so quickly.
Good morning, Brianna. I think it's a very important non-military instrument to influence decision-making process in Kremlin. The reason is very simple. Right now, the direct revenues from export of oil and gas from Russia constitute around maybe 40% of all budget revenues in Russia. It will take into account direct and indirect revenues. Altogether, it would be probably close to 60% of all revenues for the federal budget. Assuming that these revenues would be reduced substantially as a result of implementation of full embargo for energy export from Russia. We understand that it cannot be absolutely full because we have China, maybe some other smaller consumers. Nevertheless, it would affect the main bulk of importers of energy from Russia. And assuming that Russia at this moment does not have access to credit market because of sanctions, and assuming that foreign exchange reserves of the Central Bank of Russia are frozen, Russian government, Putin's government, does not have resources to finance spending. And all these spendings would be forced to be reduced by 40 to 50%. That's a shock that Russian government did not see even back in the 90s. So that is why the regime will be in a position that it would need to stop operations, to look for some armistice, and to see some negotiations with Ukraine.
It's very interesting. I do want to ask you, Andrei, as someone with insight into Vladimir Putin's personality a bit, this warship that sunk in the Black Sea, how embarrassed do you think he is by that, if at all?
I think from the purely military point of view, it is, even from the purely military point of view, it is very important because it's a flagman of the Black Sea Fleet. But it is incomparably more important from the point of view of symbolic significance, because it's number one ship in the Black Sea Fleet. It's the largest one. It is a ship that has been used by Putin personally all the time when he visited Sebastopol and Black Sea Fleet and participated in all these Navy parades. It was the same ship that sank several Georgian boats during the Russian-Georgian war back in year 2008. It was the same ship that attacked island Snake in the beginning of this particular war. And the reaction of the Ukrainian soldiers to this attack became viral in social media and well known around the world. And it is also interesting that that particular ship has been built in Nikolaev in Ukraine, in the largest shipbuilding plant in the former Soviet Union. It is interesting, it has been hit by missile from same area, from Nikolaev. It's a lot of symbolism in this case, and certainly it has a name Moscow, the capital of Russia. So this is a very, very painful blow to the morale and the status of the Russian Navy and the Russian Army.
It's really fascinating, Andrei. Thank you so much for being with us. Andrei Illarionov, we appreciate it.